What's up, beautiful besties? Welcome into the Divine Feminine by Turning Tides Tarot. My name is Alicia. Thank you all so very much for being here with me. Now, if you know, it is our Soulful Sunday reading. It does not matter what day you find this. If you're drawn to it, there is likely a message for you. That is absolutely my intention. I am sending each and every one of you so much love. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed, and thank you to everyone who has joined the membership, our Glow Up Gang. Y'all are the best. Let's just get into it and see what spirit, what your soul self wants you to know on this beautiful Sunday morning. Okay, starting off strong with the Queen of Pentacles and the High Priestess. At the bottom of the deck, we also have the Seven of Cups. All right. Okay, now this energy here, I mean, honestly, it's really soft. It's wise, and it's definitely speaking on the fact that we're not here to hustle for answers. So let me explain. Actually, well, I fixed a little bit of the glare here. Starting off really strong with the Queen of Pentacles, the High Priestess, Seven of Cups. This combo is giving major stop reaching and start receiving kind of vibes, okay? So your soul self is reminding you that the path forward does not always come from effort. Sometimes it comes from ease. Okay, so you're already really connected to the wisdom that you seek. There's really no need to chase clarity because clarity is always it's always here for you and it's already kind of on the way. I just feel like this message is telling us that we need to trust our inner compass, our intuition, and it's because we already know exactly what is really meant for us. Okay, so instead of overthinking or trying to make sense of some kind of decision right now, give yourself some permission here to pause, to nurture your nervous system, okay, and to let the signs, synchronicities, symbols reveal themselves for you in divine timing instead of trying to chase down some kind of answer. Okay, so I feel like this is all about you softening your grip, and hearing your own heart whisper to you, getting some divine downloads, or being open to listening to the divine downloads that are trying to come into you right now. So this is like totally going along with this Soulful Sunday moment here, where we're, maybe lighting a candle, sipping tea, and, just allowing information to flow through us rather than, trying to sit down and really figure something out. You know what I mean? Intentionally. I don't know. It feels like, I don't know if lately you've been trying to figure something out or force an answer to come through. And that's just not the way. Okay. So I guess this would make sense for you if you're like feeling that maybe you're on some kind of or at some kind of crossroads in your life right now, or perhaps you have multiple paths that you could choose in front of you, or maybe somebody's demanding you to provide them with some kind of answer and you don't really know yourself. Okay, not yet. This energy is asking us to chill out, relax, and let the downloads come in, okay? And not force the timing around when you receive your greatest aha moment. And I hope that's making sense for someone here. It could be, again, having to do with a project, goals, relationships. Maybe it's at work or a career path, or should I, go back to school, or do I choose my courses, or, all kinds of things like that. Just really real life things where sometimes they're tied to deadlines where you need to have an answer by such and such a day. And you feel a little bit stressed, I guess, is the energy, because you're trying to come up with that decision, or, you know, I don't know. It just feels like there's a little bit of pressure on you to deliver your final decision. Okay. And so this reading will make sense for you if that is the case in some area of your life. Now, listen, I know it's not going to be a message for everyone, but we're here for, we're delivering the message that comes through for those of you who need it and who will align with this. So I'm going to go ahead and, I have some follow-up questions. Okay. So I'm gonna see what my next question is, what truth is our intuition trying to show us that we might be resisting or ignoring or rushing? I mean, it can be any of those or all of the, no, if we're ignoring it, then we're not rushing it, right? So let's see. What truth is your intuition trying to show you? Okay. What truth is your intuition trying to show you? Oh, the devil. My goodness. Okay. Maybe we'll get a little truth bomb energy here. I don't know. We have the hangman. Well, that's that feeling that I was picking up on. Strength. 3 major arcana energies right in a row. Okay. Let me tune into this because, yeah, that's very interesting here, because the hangman is exactly the vibe that I was just describing, where we're kind of in a little bit of this limbo mode, trying to see something maybe from a different perspective, or feeling like we don't know if we should or could or have the information or the decision that seems to be required of us at the moment. So very interesting energy. And I do have to point out before before I tune in, those of you who follow here or have been following us here, and then who have also come through from our Turning Tides Tarot tribe, you will know that I say this all the freaking time, that it takes strength to overcome the devil. So when you see one or the other, you usually end up seeing them both in a reading, okay? They go hand in hand, right? So if you see the devil in a reading without strength, then obviously we are needing to look at anything related to the devil. So codependency, trauma bonds, any kind of toxic ways of thinking, or maybe karmic loops and patterns in our world, addictions, things that we know that aren't good for us. And then, of course, it takes that strength of will, kindness, compassion, and grace towards the self to overcome and to not give into any sort of temptation. But when it comes to this particular energy, this particular message, it does seem that you're kind of caught in the middle of that moment right now. And you are trying to make some kind of decision, and it's got to be around what is good for you, what isn't good for you. Is there a pattern here? I feel like you're trying to be living your life out here, making the best choices for yourself, and making sure that you're not repeating any patterns. But I'm still going to tune into this, and I might pull out something completely different in relation. Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to take a sip of water as well. Just give me a second. Hang in with me. Okay, so I've got a little bit more out of this energy. And of course, I'm really glad that I've been taking my time with these readings and really taking space to tune in, because this is definitely not surface level vibes here. It feels a lot deeper than that, right? Because to have the devil show up right away, it comes up, of course, when we feel a little bit entangled or enmeshed in something, some kind of old pattern, or like a limiting belief. And again, toxic loops, or, just habits that feel kind of safe, but they keep us stuck, right? So it's not always something dramatic or external. Like I said, like we were talking about earlier, making these choices or meeting some deadlines, okay? Sometimes it is the voice in our head, right, that says, you're not ready yet, or you're too much, or you're going to mess it up, or, something like that. And if that sounds familiar, stay tuned, because the hangman is here right in the middle. And that is this moment where, we aren't supposed to really take any action, right? So right away, our soul was saying to us, we don't need to rush through this decision. We can just be the observer for a little while to sit and wait till we see something in a different light, right? It's kind of like, it's definitely not punishment. And I know a lot of people get freaked out by the hanged man, especially with some of the imagery and in some decks, right? But this is like a purposeful pause moment. It is not a punishment, okay? It's really like this divine suspension, okay? And spirit is really saying to you, like, stop wriggling, stop fighting it, stop trying to escape, because it can feel a little bit uncomfortable. It can make you feel as if you're stuck and you're kind of like, yeah, frozen, like you don't know what to do or what choice to make, okay? But this is a moment to let that discomfort kind of teach you something and let yourself see things from a completely new angle. That's really what it's all about. You'll always see the person upside down, which is really and then the light around their head, right? And no matter what deck, it's usually something like that. And this really speaks to purposefully looking at things from a different perspective, right? So when you're upside down, you see everything in a totally different way. And then we receive this new perspective. We receive some kind of download. We receive some kind of clarity that, we just start to know. We can see the path forward, right? So this is kind of coming back around to what we've already talked about a little bit here with waiting to hear those little quiet whispers, right, from the soul, or to receive that divine download, right, or that sign. Okay. But what's really interesting here with strength, I mean, to me, I see this also as this divine feminine version of power. Okay. It's not brute force. Okay. This is strength with grace, okay? And this is you gently closing, okay? Usually we have someone like closing a lion's mouth. And in this card, we do see this woman here half as a lion, okay? And then the lamb, okay? Which is obviously very symbolic. It's talking about that gentle power, right? That gentle power. So you usually see someone gently closing a lion's mouth and maybe whispering in their ear. So this is like quiet courage. And it's the quiet courage here of choosing better. So even when your shadow wants to take the wheel, you're saying, no, I'm going to turn down that noise, okay, of the devil, the temptation. So what truth has your intuition trying to show you is that you're already strong enough to break this pattern. Okay. So the thing that you think is holding you hostage or holding you back or making you feel stuck, you're really holding the key to unlock, your chains. Okay. You just maybe haven't trusted yourself 100% or enough to use it. Okay. So this illusion of being stuck is exactly that. It is an illusion. So it's not really about making some kind of dramatic escape or, making a choice right now. It's really about noticing the moment that you reach for the old coping mechanism or the familiar distraction or anything that helps you avoid making a good decision, okay? And you're really choosing not to indulge, okay? Not to indulge in anything that apparently is not good for you. So it's not so much waiting for a sign that it is the fact that you are the sign, okay? Like your soul self is standing here like, look, you already know what to do. You already know what's best for you. We don't really need to interfere. Like, again, it's good to like take some time to hear the downloads and look for the signs and everything, but it's something that your soul already knows. Okay. So, I just find this to be more of an energy that is reassuring and encouraging that you don't need to rush. You can take the time that you need, and really lean into that feeling of knowing that whatever you do choose, if you are making wise decisions and you are breaking patterns and you are um, in this process of transformation, that you can trust that you'll make the best choice for yourself, and that it is going to work out for your greatest and highest good. Okay, because usually, I mean, with the Seven of Cups, I didn't say something that I usually say with that, is when we feel pressure or we feel a little confused about what choice we need to make. At the end of the day, we always do still have to make a choice, no matter what. And there is no way, especially when you are in this energy of strength, breaking patterns, taking time to really lean on your intuition. There really is nothing that you could choose, or how do I want to word this? You will not miss something that is meant for you, no matter what you choose. Okay. So let's say you have two really incredible paths in front of you that you could take. Maybe one is like, okay, here's an excellent job offer. You really want this job. Okay. Maybe you've applied for it several times and it finally comes through and you get an offer. And then there's another opportunity. Maybe you've already made some plans. Oh, I'm traveling. I'm going to Peru, and I've been wanting to do this trip for a very long time, and I've got an opportunity to do that. What do I do? Okay, what do I do right now? Is it good for me to go on this trip that I've always wanted? Or do I take this job that I've always wanted? Because if I take the job, that means I won't be able to go on the trip. Well, no matter what you choose, okay, if you choose the trip, there will be an equal or better opportunity for you when you come back, okay? If that is meant for you, you're not going to miss it. And the same is true vice versa. So I feel like that might be a really good example to help you understand what I'm trying to communicate here to you, the energy. It's like if you choose the job, okay, or the career opportunity, whatever, then there will be another time, that is in alignment for you to go do that dream trip to Peru or wherever, right? I'm just using that as an example. So if that's meant for you, it will come back around. It might look a little bit different, okay, but it will be equal or better opportunity for you if you are meant to receive that. So really leaning into that knowledge that whatever is meant for you will be placed on your path, even if you decide to take a detour. Okay. So I feel like this is, again, just some kind of reassuring message for anyone who is at a crossroads at this point in time. All right. So I want to see, oops, I just hit my sound bowl. I want to keep going into the next question here, because I want to know if there is any emotional or spiritual illusion that could be clouding your clarity or that sense of knowing right now, okay? Because again, with the Seven of Cups, it also speaks to a bit of confusion or distraction or fantasies, right? Sometimes we can get caught up in all the what ifs and really all the decisions that you have to make here, or the choice that you have to make. And we're kind of stalling by not making a choice at the same time too. At the end of the day, you still need to make the decision, but it is okay to pause. All right. So it is okay to pause. But is there an emotional or, is there anything that we need to know? Is there anything that's clouding your clarity? Let's word it like that. Is there anything clouding your clarity right now? The Empress showing up. I love it. I love it. The Empress is showing up. Let's just get one more. The Lovers. It could be a relationship. Oh, it could very much be a relationship. Okay. Let me tune in. Okay, so this energy, I mean, come on. It's basically a whole like rom-com plot line in 4 cards, okay? And while it's giving this dreamy soulmate fantasy energy, it's also giving emotional distraction alarm bells, okay? So here's the tea. The Page of Swords, right? this is a curious vibe, and it can be borderline obsessive, right? So this is the one who's refreshing the feed, watching every story, over analyzing every single text, and maybe looking for some kind of meaning in the silence, right? And when that energy gets wrapped around the question, like, is this my soulmate? We can really start to confuse hope with truth, okay? And the Empress tells me here that your energy is ripe, creative, fertile, magnetic AF, right? And you're in a place of attracting everything right now. And yet there's a part of your divine glow that might be maybe getting a little bit fixated on attracting them, that one person, okay? Because the Lovers and the Two of Cups, I mean, it's they really double down on the relationship theme. So this is basically romantic idealism at its peak, and so while love is beautiful, we need to be totally honest here. When our entire energetic field gets hijacked, okay, by the desire to know how someone else feels, right? It can totally cloud our ability to choose ourselves and make, real-time decisions in our own world, okay? So, I mean, it's a bit of a truth bomb coming through, but I mean, the illusion right now, it really might be this idea that you'll feel more certain or more whole or more aligned once they choose you. Okay. But you really need to know, bestie, like your soul is already choosing you. Okay. And this reading isn't saying that love isn't real. It's saying don't put your clarity on pause while waiting to see what someone else does. So, like, do not, delay making choices based upon, the fantasy of, that one person. Okay. You really don't need to decode their energy. What you need to do here is trust your own. Okay. And I know it's really easy to get sucked into that, especially here in tarot land. Okay. I know, because I've been doing these readings for many, many, many years. And yeah, the need and the call for readings, love readings that, want to know what the other person is thinking and feeling. I mean, I've been there. I totally get it, but it's everywhere, right? And that it's only kind of leaving you maybe feeling a little bit more confused or a little bit stuck or a little bit, again, just really distracted and not making decisions for yourself, perhaps. It's based on, well, what if, this person shows up, or, you know what I mean? Okay. I don't even want to get too much into it. I just feel like love is a distraction for you right now. Okay. In a nutshell. And like I said, I'm not against love at all. And I am here for you to receive your greatest and highest good when it comes to love. Absolutely align with that energy. That is my wish for each and every one of you. But this here is giving kind of like what's holding you back or what's holding you up, all right? In the moment that you're sitting here in the reading right now, okay? So please don't shoot the messenger. Okay. Anyway, I want to ask next, what are we being called to nurture within the self as we wait for our kind of next steps to appear, or that message or that sign, something. Again, this is an energy about allowing something to come through to you rather than forcing it. Okay. So what are we being called to nurture within ourselves? Okay. Well, we're kind of in this hangman energy. Okay. Ooh, look at that. I'm just going to leave it at that. The Ace of Cups and the Ace of Swords. Wow. 2 aces. That was at the bottom of the deck, by the way. Lovely, lovely energy. So again, this is really deep. Seeing the 2 aces here, I mean, it's really a call to tend to 2 of the most powerful initiations that we can hold within us, right? Which is emotional renewal and mental clarity. Okay. So with the Ace of Cups, Spirit's asking, how full is your own cup right now? Can you offer yourself the love, the softness, the compassion, and emotional care that you've been craving from outside sources? Okay. This is really the moment to tend to your own heart like it's your garden. All right. So, really leaning into your own sacred waters and letting yourself feel again without judgment, without forcing a fix. Okay. And the Ace of Swords, I mean, it's all about clearing out the mental fog, right? This is really about truth. And it's the kind of truth that really can cut through any illusion, fantasy, or confusion. Okay. So, especially when we've been wrapped up in the overthinking or any mixed signals, right? This sword says, get real with yourself. Okay. Speak your truth. Even if it's just in your journal, okay? Even if no one else hears it, it still shifts everything for you. So what we are nurturing right now is, a very clear heart and a clear mind. And this combo, I mean, this is when you become unstoppable, okay? And it's when you know what's for you and what is, again, just noise, okay? So, my next question is okay, because I feel like this is going to give us a little bit of insight, a little bit more. What is the next inspired action that we will take that we don't have to force? Okay. Okay. 5 of Cups for that one. And we have here 8 of Cups. And I can't ignore the Sun showing up here as well for this. Wow. So really, this is a moment, or that moment, I should say, where we stop replaying the disappointment. All right. The 5 of Cups says, okay, yeah, you've been hurt. Absolutely. Something didn't turn out the way your heart had hoped for. Okay. Maybe it was this connection, or it could be a situation, or even a version of yourself that you had to outgrow. Okay. Whatever it was, we're not denying the pain. Now we are honoring it. Okay. And the 8 of Cups says, you don't have to stay there. Okay. In that energy anymore. You don't have to keep trying to fix yourself or reframe something that already showed you its truth. Okay. It's really time to gather your courage, to turn towards, just to honor your soul and walk away slowly, gently, but deliberately towards, right? What actually feels good, what actually fills you up, and what is waiting for you on the other side of all of this, is the Sun. Okay. It's joy, it's clarity, it's growth, it's radiance, it's that finally breathing again kind of a vibe, okay? Like I can finally breathe again. Oh my God, everything feels good again. There's warmth, there's light, there's just growth, okay? So the next inspired action isn't dramatic. This whole reading is very chill, very Sunday vibe. There's no drama here. It's really not about making any kind of like big announcements or burning bridges, It's really about making a quiet promise to yourself. Like, look, I'm not going to chase what doesn't see me. I'm going to follow the warmth, okay? I'm going to follow the light. So let the grief move through. Absolutely, yes. But don't confuse grief with guidance, okay? The healing is in the walking away part of it, not in the grieving. Okay. But of course, I mean, if you try to push the grief away and you don't allow it to flow through you, that's when we come into resistance and problems and things like that coming up, even in the body. We can't hold that energy in. So yes, express it. Yes, honor it, but let's still move forward and away from that as well. Okay. Because again, the Sun is waiting for you, which is quite beautiful. So, what signs, this is my last question here, okay, for this reading. I want to know if we can pull out any signs or synchronicities that we should watch for as confirmation, right? That we are on the right path, okay? So what signs or synchronicities should we watch for? Oh, I have here the Six of Pentacles. Oh, geez. The Eight of Swords wanted to fly out. But then we have the Ten of Cups and the Four of Wands. Wow. Okay. All right. You know what? I'm also going to take this because I feel like it's relevant. It was underneath the Four of Wands. It's the Ace of Wands. And I know you probably can't see that pop. Oh, I just dropped my deck. Oh, no. Okay. I'm going to put the Ace of Wands here. All right. Hold on. Okay, love, so I've picked up my deck and now we're at this point where we're closing out the Soulful Sunday reading with this one final download, okay? And, you know, I'm just reminding you and myself, what we asked here was what signs or synchronicities should you watch out for as some kind of confirmation that you're on the right path, okay? And with what showed up, it's really quite beautiful, I gotta say, because with the Six of Pentacles, you know, that tells us that you will start to notice balance and peace returning to your life, okay? Energy exchange will feel reciprocal again. So you're not just going to be giving endlessly and getting crumbs back, okay? So a big confirmation is going to be when the people around you start meeting you halfway without you having to beg for it, okay? So that is a total big fat yes. Okay, we want that. And with the Eight of Swords, you know, that one's a little tricky. It's a little tricky because it really reminds us that sometimes the only thing blocking our next move is our own thoughts. Okay, so it's a weird but magical sign to watch out for. The moment you catch yourself spiraling in self-doubt, okay, that's the moment, right? Believe it or not, that's going to be a sign or synchronicity because this time you're going to stop yourself, okay? You're going to shift the story, right? So that's the sign. The fact that you can recognize and break this mental pattern that's gone on within you, that is huge. That is like, that's big, right? And this is going to be like, this is you opening this giant gate, okay, for yourself. Like you are no longer trapped behind any kind of thought spiraling moments, okay? And I love it with the Ten of Cups here, the Four of Wands, and then of course the Ace of Wands as well. This is like your full body green light, okay? So there are big synchronicities that will scream out, absolutely, yes, you are on the right track. So I'm just going to list a couple of them that I'm seeing here. Seeing 1111 or repeating fours, okay? Especially when you're thinking about making a leap, okay? If you're hearing a song that speaks directly to your heart, or a relationship question, okay? When you're noticing rainbows or keys or open doors or candles lighting on their own, okay? Classic signs from spirit. And I know you don't see that very often, but you know, I've had a flameless candle that flickered on without me even touching the power button. And that was wild for me. So that's why I mentioned it. I don't know if you've ever seen that before. But yeah, so any kind of sudden burst of energy or inspiration that feel like some kind of fire has been lit inside you, you know, that's going to be the Ace of Wands energy. And yeah, even the quiet, peaceful sense that you're finally home, like emotionally, energetically, spiritually, that's the Ten of Cups, okay, talking to you. So if it feels free, if it feels balanced, if it feels warm and alive, that's your sign, okay? So you've been standing at a crossroads, right? If you've been standing at a crossroads, wondering which path is yours, I mean, this reading really just wants you to know that you already know, okay? Let these little hints and little synchronicities and messages and downloads, let them guide you, okay? Trust your intuition and definitely follow your joy, okay? So thank you so very much for being here with me. As per usual, if you are new, I would love if you would join our growing Glow Up gang here, whether you become a member or just a supporting member here and on our channel, part of our family, okay? I do have a goal and I would love for your help in reaching it. I would love to be able to say that we have 1,000 divine feminists here rocking these empowering messages. That would be amazing. My goal is to hit that milestone by the end of this month. So if you can help me out, that would be awesome. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I have personal readings open. You can always, if you want to give a little tip or energy exchange, I'll leave all the links there below for you. But other than that, I hope you have a wonderful, soulful Sunday, and we will be back with tomorrow. We took a little bit of a vote, and it is going to be like a Mystic Monday vibe where we look at the week ahead. And on that note, I usually, if you want to follow me on Insta as well, it's at Turning Tides Tarot. I usually do a Tarot Tuesday reading over there as well for that. And it never sees the light of day on YouTube. So if you want a little bit of additional content, you can always find me over there too. But anyway, I'm giving you lots and lots of love, and I will see you in tomorrow's reading. Take care and have a blessed day.